Hey, there we go. Welcome back to the live stream. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is, what day is today? Today is June 30th, 2019. We're going to write a little bit of code today. How's it going there, chat room? I've got my Windows Phone hat on. It's the last day that the store will take application updates, So I have to salute the Windows Phone, have to say goodbye to it. Tremendous device. I really enjoyed my Windows phones that I had back in the day, and I'll wear the Windows Phone hat one more time here on stream. It is a very sad moment, yes. Wow, it's really early out there. Chat room, so good to see you. Lannon's here. Johan, hello. Check out that hype. Tagaron, good afternoon from Germany. Far too warm here for anything useful. 34 Celsius. Oh my goodness. That's over 100 Fahrenheit for those of us stuck on the Fahrenheit system. Hey, Sean, good morning. Stelzy's here. Hello. It is a sad moment indeed. Emadashi, 8 after midnight. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for staying up with us. I really appreciate you joining us. Impressed that you stayed with it so long. I just have the hat. I don't have the device anymore. The Lumia 950 XL was an amazing device. I had the Verizon phone. It was the Nokia Lumia Icon. I had the oh my gosh, tremendous device. I really enjoyed it. Well ahead of its time, surfacing information, allowing applications to interact with each other, and now that's an innovation on the main phones that folks are using today. Yeah, whatever. Windows has had that for many years. There we go. Just moving some things around here on my desk. So I wanted to take a little step back. I wanted to throw back. I've been working on some things here. Of course, I do some programming on projects while we're not coding together, so we can get a little bit ahead, so we can figure out some things that might not be the best to do here on stream together. And I've been evaluating and working through the distributed chatbot we were working on. About a month or so ago, we stopped working on that, but it was full of all kinds of really interesting things, including the actor model, setting up so that we could have a chatbot that manages multiple chat rooms distributed out on the web using cloud technologies, maybe containers, so that all the various instances of the bot could communicate to each other and provide a really big, impressive service. So let me get some music playing in the background. We'll dig into the source code for that. I want to show you the updates that we've had. We spent a little bit of time doing authentication with our friend Auth0 Bobby, not myself. That's Bobby Johnson from Auth0, Eternal Dev Coder. Thanks so much for the follow. Thank you to all of our followers. Looks like we have a couple folks that followed us while we weren't online here. I really appreciate all of our followers. Containers. Did Robert Tables appear? Don't see him yet. It's funny things happen when you say the word containers on stream. Suddenly Robert Tables appears. It's like Beetlejuice. So I want to show you some of the steps that we've taken there. We can now do roles.
C# Josh just resubscribed for 6 months.
Hey, Josh, thanks so much for that resub. 6 months, that's going to put you into a blue hat badge now. And we'll make another donation to Veterans Who Code. Happy Sunday indeed, Frackberg. So I want to show you how we can do roles now, role-based authentication, using the features in Auth0. And I want to show you where we've gone here.
Frackberg just resubscribed for 5 months.
Thanks so much, Frackberg. I appreciate that 5-month sub. We'll make another donation to Veterans Who Code. I want to show you where we've gone now, where I'm now starting to output information using SignalR. I'm going to use simple interactions first to a web page before we start putting the live widgets that we have in our Fritz Stream Tools, and even the widget that we started building with Fairy Wings, the customized cheer bar. Bring those features into the bot, and because those depend heavily on SignalR technologies, I want to make sure we get that right, and then we'll start we'll start bringing all of those great widgets into this, build out an amazing user interface around them so that anybody anywhere can use our bot. He's about seen him on another stream. Oh, terrific. Thanks for sharing that, Copper Beardy. So let's head over to this view. We are at 6719. We crossed 6,700 followers while we were away. Thanks so much to all of our followers. If we get that number over 8,000 for September 15th, I will dye this beard rainbow for .NET Conf and TwitchCon. They're the same week. I'll just keep it for the whole week as a salute to you, all of our followers, all of our friends out there on Twitch. And, yeah, everybody will know that I support my viewers. Let's get some music playing here in the background. This is music to code by, of course, from our friend Mr. Carl Franklin. I want to go back. Let's go back to the first one. Let's play Blue. This is the original song from Music to Code by. This music is engineered. It's designed to get you in the groove, to get you focused on whatever task it is that you might be working on. Whether it's coding, homework, studying, doing chores around the house, lawn work like I do. It'll get you focused. All those other worries will fade away, and you'll get stuff done. It'll feel like faster and better and more focused. Check it out, mtcb.pwop.com, or you can execute the music command in chat, get that link, and get your copy for just a couple bucks. Or you can actually check out the app at Music to Flow By. I haven't opened that up in a while. Let's open that up. musictoflowby.com. There it is. You can get the first couple songs free. Just click through the web link here, and you'll see there's a couple of episodes free that you can download. 19 in total. I encourage you to check it out. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Carl, for letting us listen to your music here. And I want to make sure that we support Carl as he continues to build and build. Listen to me. That's what a developer I am. Build. As he continues to write more music to share with us. So that is tremendous. All right, let's talk about the project here. So the project, there it is up there. Let's get in a little bit closer. There we are. It still says we have a potential security vulnerability just because I haven't promoted to the master branch. So we'll get through that. Robert Tables has been super busy with a client at work. That's all right. Work first. Family, work, Twitch. Faith, family, work, Twitch. Faith, family, work, friends, Twitch. Somewhere in there. All right. Let's talk about this. So this is a jQuery update. I haven't promoted it to master. Like I said, it's sitting in my feature multi-tenant branch where we've been working. There we go. All right. So this was originally a bot that we built for our friend Quiltoni to manage currency, some stream currency for her channel. She manages a currency called Pixels, saves them out to a Google spreadsheet, and we wrote a little bot to update and take care of the standard events that she awards currency for. That's a simple idea. That's an easy thing to figure out and to share out there. So we put together a little bot that watches chat and does that interaction. But then we said, let's add some other features. Let's do some more cool stuff with this. So we started adding things like connecting to Shopify. And whenever there's a sale, let's trigger an alert. Let's trigger a video widget. And other friends were saying, hey, I'd like feature X. I'd like to be able to do all these cool things. And to build one-off bots for all those things while possible is daunting. It's quite daunting.
It's really hard.
So we started pulling it together and let's build one unified bot. And it was proposed that we use the actor model to manage all these really complex interactions between the various pieces of the bot, whether it's stuff that's happening in the chat room, stuff that's happening, stuff that's being output and painted on screen, or maybe it needs to go out to some other source. Maybe we need a mobile app or something that's going to integrate. There's all kinds of touch points here, and to componentize and isolate things so that we can make the management of this a little bit easier, we embrace the actor model for our architecture. The actor model says you have each class is an actor. It does one thing and it does one thing very well. And the actor system will manage the number of instances of those actors, the processes and threading of all of those things so they collaborate together. We don't have to think about all that stuff by using the actor system, and in our case, aka.net, we'll get great interaction and management of all these things that are interacting with each other. Hey, Simon Jeering, good to see you. So, I started working with Auth0 to do authentication for this. And we built out and we added some features on our Auth0. Where is it? I don't see it. Auth0, there's a manage Auth0. Not the authorization. It's like c#fritz.manage. It was like, or is it manage auth0.com? Something like that. Right, there it goes. Takes me to my dashboard. And we can look here. I added an extension for the Pixel bot down here called authorization. And what authorization lets me do, come on, is it lets me see all the users that I have here, and I can look at my roles and I can see I have a role here. Now, these roles will be output and made available by using a rule. Now, this feels weird to me that I had to write this, but I added that extension and I have to add a rule. A rule is something that you add to your application on Auth0 to include information or to change the information that's sent when it's requested when folks log in. So it generated this Auth0 authorization extension here, but I had to add this rule here. Let me show you what this rule does, because it's too simple. It is a function that takes information about a user, some context information about them, and a callback method. What's next in the chain that it needs to execute? I had to add this namespace. And this is a very specific namespace because this is the namespace that ASP.NET Core uses for their claims. When you want to define a roles claim for ASP.NET Core, you need to take this namespace, put roles on the end of it, and I'm sticking the list of roles that the user has inside that claim. What this means then is when I log in now, I'll get my list of roles that have been assigned in Auth0 sent back as a token into my application. Let me say that again. Roles, R-O-L-E-S, roles, that are assigned to a user in Auth0 in the authorization extension will be extracted, assigned this namespace, and attached and sent back into my application. So what that means now is inside of, where is it? The Pixel bot over here. I've taken what we wrote with, not myself, with, that sounds so weird. And I've added, that's not it. I've added down here, we're going to return the scope called roles. That's the one that I'm looking for. I'm going to have that automatically added because I defined the claim type. You need to have that name. That's the name of the claim. And it's weird that it's this really long string, but trust me, it works. I'll get that role coming back into my application now. And I'll be able to detect and check authorization, check that you belong to that role throughout ASP.NET Core. So I've moved all of my authorization. You can log in with Twitch. I can grant folks roles, such as, in this case, I want to define a global admin, somebody who can administer all chatbots. And I can say only those folks are allowed to access certain pages. Matrix Overshock, thanks so much for the host. I appreciate it. So what do you think, chat room? It's a little bit complex there, but once I found this magic string, and I hate that it's a magic string, but that's the way it is, I can now take all of my user management and push it out somewhere else. The idea being, for this application, I don't want folks to be able to turn on, to light up that they're an administrator of the entire application or that they have extra access by going to this application. It's all managed over in Auth0. It's outside the application entirely. No problem. Thank you, Matrix Overshock. Complex. Try what we're doing. Uh-oh. Okay. Would the URL be better stored in a settings config file just in case it changes? Well, here's the thing. It's a schema definition that was defined in 2008. So we're 11 years out. Don't think it's going to change. It's a standard definition. It's a standard name for it. I see what you're going for there, Rambling Geek. It makes complete sense, but I need to have it match just in these two places. So I'm okay hard coding it here. Government and weird rules makes things really complicated. You could just stop it. Government makes things really complicated. Rules become weird. Yeah. We're going to deploy it in time for Microsoft to make a change to it. Core Bob. Oh, you're killing me here. No, this is actually a standard that they're not going to change. They've been using it in Windows Identity, Microsoft Identity for a long time. It's not changing. That's the namespace for a role claim. So, I see the. All right, fine. I get it over there. I see what you're doing to me. All right. So let's take a step through. That works. Okay. Let me show you. I have. Where is it? Inside of my components over here. I have a navigation menu that says if you're a member of the global admin policy. Now that policy I defined. Where did I define my policy? Here. And that policy is very simple, right? A policy is a way for you to take claims, for you to take security sensitive information and turn it into, and turn it into a Boolean check, right? I forget where I put it. Where I defined that policy name. Might still be in startup. I like to move them out of startup just because it gets messy to have it in here. Yeah, it is still in here. I'm going to eventually move this out. So we've defined our authorization policy here. This is the way that ASP.NET Core recommends you define those policies, those rules that you want to apply that allow folks access to things. So I have a policy called global admin, and all it does is require the role global admin. But I could have other policies that say things like North American users, and it checks to see if you reside in North America. Easy, that's fine, but that's not a role that we're enforcing. All right, fine with all the giggles there in the chat room, all right? All right? I get it.
Shut up!
Anyways. So, that's how I'm requiring this policy, how I'm defining it, and in my navigation menu, if you are global admin, you can see the current channels that we're working with. Current channels, this is all still using Blazor Preview 5. I haven't updated this to Preview 6 yet. But on my current channels, we're going to do a for each through the list of current channels, and just output the list of channels here. What I want to do is I want to output a message list. I want to output the list of messages from folks who are currently interacting with the channel. So whatever's going on in chat, I want to be able to dump here. Now, here's where SignalR comes in. Blazor is incredibly cool to work with. I've been enjoying developing with it very, very much. I need to just get everything on the latest version so I don't have any more significant breaks here. Okay?
You have to ask me nice.
No, Jack, I will ask you when I'm ready to move over there. Okay, Jack? It's not quite ready yet.
What's that?
It's not quite ready yet.
What's that?
I don't have everything ready to be updated to Preview 6. I just want to spend time getting some features done, okay? Hollywood types. Medlifan. We are building a distributed chatbot. using the actor model. And what we're about to do is we're about to wire up using a little SignalR so we get some live interaction from the server posting into a web page without refreshing. This is a cornerstone technology for all the widgets that we use. Widgets like these ones that you see here below me here for the number of followers, the number of viewers, and our current viewer sentiment, chat room sentiment, I'm sorry. Those are being updated live based on what's going on in the chat room. So as things happen in the chat room, these numbers change. Somebody joins the channel, this number goes up. Somebody clicks follow, that number goes up. And if people are happy in the chat room, that number goes up. So we need to make sure that we get this working. It is so cool. So cool. They've been moving so fast on it that
They've gone to plaid.
they have. They've gone to plaid. There we go. Ian McDouglas, thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate that. And you're going to see, right, because of SignalR, this only refreshes once a minute because of the Twitch API thresholds, their limits. You'll see this number kick up to 6720 in just a few seconds. They are flying many releases. Does Blazor let you put all the presentation logic out of functions intermixed with the markup into a presenter or MVVM or similar? For example, the way HTML and components are separated in Angular. Yes, they do, actually. So Simon, what you can do is you can implement a page, they call it a component model to go along with it. The functions here is nice to get it all in one page, but you can certainly have this depend on it's a component model. I love the monkey face there, Ian. Thanks so much for sharing. You can create the whole component in code if you want. You can. Yes, there you go. There's the 6720 ticked up. You would define a model class and you can put all your functions over there. That'll also help you with unit testing, right? So, right, if I it's model. I thought it was model like that, right? And if I called this current, oh no, it's not model. It's inherits, isn't it? There it is. Current channel model. I can over here, right? I can create a class. We'll call it current channel model. There it is. And if we inherit from, I believe it's base component model. I believe that's what it is. No, what's the base class for it? So that page there is just quick MVP style. Yes, component base. Is that what it is? Component base. There it is. Yeah. So now I could move all of my functions over there. So let me close this. I'm going to leave that one open for a little bit. We don't need that. I've already gone through it. Don't need this. I need to show that. Need to show that. Here it is. So I could grab all of these things and put it over in the... oh, heck. For the purposes of showing this off, why not? Let's just do it. And bang, there they are. And it does the exact same thing. I'm injecting those things over here. I now need to receive these, right, as a constructor. Oh my goodness, what's with all the smiley faces? Mixed Exodus, hello. We need to get the 100 guys. What 100 guys? I'm tired of working in the restaurant industry, so I started free code camp this week. Hey, that's great. Learning is fun. Absolutely. Unit test the behavior in the component like WPF binding. Yes, absolutely. The 100 guys. What? Oh, the one. Oh, you're trying to get the sentiment to 100. Absolutely. You can do that. And not a problem, Ian. And please, any questions that folks have, always happy to answer and talk through here. Like you saw, I just started moving things over here. Have you checked out their YouTube channel yet? Oh, for Free Code Camp. Yes, it is a great It is a great resource. And Ian, there's definitely something to be said for folks that are trying to change their career. They want to get into technology. They're interested in whether it's web technology, mobile technology, IoT, the little Internet of Things. Internet of Things. Yes, I got that right. It costs nothing to learn because we have free resources, like folks like me that are streaming here on Twitch, or the Live Coders. Click that Live Coders link below. That's a team of 60 folks that are all streaming and teaching about code and technology here live on Twitch. Most of us have YouTube channels where you can click through and you can see deeper dives into some of the technology. But I encourage you to check it out live here on Twitch, because then you can ask those follow-up questions when you've spent some time learning the basics. Hey, how do we do this? Why would we choose to use this model instead of the other? And you see, already we've got some of our folks in the chat room who are experts in their own right, to be sure, saying, oh yeah, you want to do this, and here's a good reason to choose this model instead of that model. Really great to have those discussions as the virtual user meetup. It's free. Why not? If you're learning C# live code, CLW does a 0 to Hero stream on Fridays. Yes, he does. So CLW, that's Corey Hurricane Weathers. You can find him. He's one of. I'm going to get this right. CLW is one of our latest members of the Live Coders team. Check him out. He's with Twilio, working with C#, doing a little bit of Blazor work. Really great stuff. Fantastic, Ian. Great to have you here. Interesting that number's been going down since Mixed Exodus started with the smileys. I forget if it's the 1 minute average or the 5 minute average. I think it's the 5 minute, and the arrow is the change over the 1 minute. I forget which way it is. It's in the source code. Alright, so we're injecting these things here. Instead of injecting them here like this, we could make them then constructor parameters. Thank you. Inside of our code behind over here. So if we're injecting and we're receiving those things, let's just delete the inject. Right? So we have these things. If we make them protected so that the component can see them as well, we're in good shape. Get some using statements in here. Using statements are how we shortcut some of the things in the namespaces, right? We don't have to put the entire namespace there if we include these using statements. So now I'll put together a quick constructor. I'll use the ctour snippet. There it is. And I need to receive each one of these things so I can put them down somewhere. So I need to receive an I authorization service. I'm going to cheat and just call it SVC. I need to get the claims principal. I really don't like that whole thing there. Let's just call it claims principal. And I'll get one of those. Claims principal, that's our user. I need the IURI helper. And I'll just call it URI. I'm cheating here because I can. I actor ref, and that's going to be my channel manager. All right, and I'll assign these at construction time to those fields. So this dot authorization service equals SVC. This dot current user equals user. URI helper equals URI. And the channel manager, this dot, I don't like that that's lowercase like that. That feels wrong. Let's fix that. I'm gonna F2 and rename it, make it capitalized. There we go. So now those things will be injected and they'll be available to us throughout the rest of the thing here. The doodad. Throughout the rest of the component here. I need some using statements here. Good. All right. And that's it. And this should continue to work. You have these naming rules in an editor config. Nice. This feels wrong, but it would feel right in Java. There is an inject attribute for the code behind. Is there? Can I do that? Indicates the property should have a value injected from the service provider during an initialization. Nice. Kind of takes away from dependency injection. Right? I feel like there's you're going to run into some issues with scope there, because if I put inject on this, I need to turn this into a full property, and I'm going to need to make a public set get versus keeping it protected and only receiving at construction time, which is a more unit testing class way to do things, I think. Your NAS has died. Oh no. Uploading data to Azure Blob. Oh wow. Good luck. Just dipping your toes in with HTML, grasp the concepts of what it's like to take time getting comfortable. Yes. It's the way they document and recommend. I understand that's the way they document and recommend, but I don't like that when it doesn't feel right when it comes time to unit test. I'm making things unnecessarily open in scope so that I can test. You're uploading things to Azure Blob Storage. Could take a long time. All right. So if I run this, it should continue to work. How does this work with packaging and bundling of assets since it's not using Webpack or similar at build? How would you use SAS? Would you continue? No. What did I break? Join channel is a type which is not valid in the given context. No. There's no argument given that corresponds to the required formal parameter SVC. Huh? You're kidding. Why am I running into that? There is no that doesn't. We got some leftovers here. Installing. There we go. I think. Come on. No, we had a fail in there. Oh my gosh, this is impossible to read. Where is it? So test failed. Here we go. There's no argument for SVC. Why not? No, we're not even getting to DI. We're just compiling at this point. Let me come back to SAS. So SAS, it would, during the build process, you can trigger those interactions to have it render. And actually, Visual Studio will do the rendering for you as well. The transform. Why is it not doing that? I mean, missing project reference? No. You have to sometimes close Razor pages and reopen. Is that a thing? Let's see. No argument given. If I'm forced to put a constructorless, put an argumentless constructor here, that's going to feel really ugly. Because now you're forcing me to decide to do property injection. That I'm not a fan of. Hello, I'm kind of new here and following adventures with Stream Deck. Nice. Most plugins go right to the system, but if I want to talk to my program, is opening a WebSocket a best solution? Yes. The work that we did with the Stream Deck a few months ago is all about doing WebSockets back and forth between different applications. The plugins that we built were all about WebSockets. Oh my goodness. Stop the press. Friends, I just got emotes and new screens for the stream from our friend Corgi Candy. Oh my gosh. Can I get some feedback, friends, if I open this up and share? This looks terrific. Oh my goodness. So I've got, oh yeah. Okay. Corgi Candy is the artist that I use, that I work with. I use her service to present, and all of the badges, all of the emotes that you see here, she put together. So we have a new set of badges that we're going to be bringing in. A green hat for 9 months, an orange hat with a propeller for, I think we're saying 18 months, 2 years, a blue hat with a propeller, 2.5 years, a purple hat with a propeller. Let me turn this, let me see. Some new emotes that we're going to rotate through here. We've got a sleeping bot, a laughing bot, and Darn Skippy. Right, Darn Skippy is, that's pretty cool. A new starting screen. Oh yeah. That's pretty good. I like that. A new offline screen. So we can put our schedule down here at the bottom. That's cool. And a new closing screen as we're signing off. I like it. I like them a lot. I really like the work that Corgi Candy has done for us. Right, so we'll put a timer up here in this box. We'll have chat in here. You know, we'll have the bot over here. Maybe we'll swap the bot out sometimes, and we'll have some bloopers or something fun like that going by. But I think that's pretty cool stuff. I think those are pretty cool. That the propeller hat in British TV culture is associated with comedy characters. I know. Yep. It's intended to be fun and funny to have the propeller on the hat. Yes. That you've been around for a while and you get the joke. Yes. Feels Google-like the hats. Right. And I think the next set that we'll have after this maybe we put in something else on top of the hat instead of a propeller for the next group that go after that. They look cool. Yeah, okay. With the new hats, I have something to strive for. Only subscriber 16 months Tagaron is going to get one of these new hats right away. Oh my gosh, they're beautiful. All right, so I'm going to write back real quick. And I'm streaming right now. The chat room loves the new emotes and screens. Emotes, badges, and screens. One small request. Nah, we're good. All right, send that over to her. You love the bot in the Sun Lounger. Yeah, right? Thanks for watching. Hey, Art for the Apocalypse. Lurking while you're getting some stuff done. Nice. So I'm really happy to see these come through, and I want to make sure that we can share some of this great artwork from Corgi Candy with you here in the next. Well, we're going to be redoing a lot of the branding you see here, and this is just part of it that you'll see in the next few days. Merlin engines under the hats. That'd be pretty impressive. I get the feeling that I'm kind of being forced by Blazor to do property injection here. DI, the Razor component inherits from your base class. There's no way to specify constructor parameters through Razor syntax, so it needs the parameterless constructor. That makes me sad. Oh, that's... Alright. So we'll have to make these properties, which means they have to be public. Right? Not a fan of that. I do not like property injection. Why did I do it that way? Look, there's a cool feature here in Visual Studio that I should have used. Like this. So I could do it all at once like that. Right? And specify inject like that. Yes. No need for public? Then how am I going to test? How am I going to be able to inject from outside as a unit test? That's the problem. If I'm moving these into a component class so that I can inject and test and unit test, I need to be public. This is making your spine crawl. Why is that, Sean? Help me out here. Testing components is as hard as naming. Well, the idea that I would go after is I want to be able to test method like this and make sure that it is properly joining channels when I do that type of thing. Syntax looks weird to you. You're used to using parameters in constructor. See, Sean, I'm with you, Sean. I completely agree. Look,
It can be done exactly how I want it.
Sean and I are on the same page.
The only question is, are you the man to do it?
Well, evidently this framework is not going to let us do it. And that does feel weird. I would rather have the constructor injection. I mean, I guess I could have the constructor injection here as well to pass along, but if I'm required to have the parameterless constructor, yeah, it feels weird. And the public properties feel very wrong. Yeah. It does. It feels strange. But if we try it now. Come on. No. What don't you like? That's in the generated code. Join channel is a type. Rebuild. Clear out those generated entries. Come on. No, still doesn't like it. Fun Booster 95. Well, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. Oh, look at this. Join channel is a message over here. And I've got a function that has the same name. Let's rename that message, because that feels wrong to have a message called. Right? I feel like, well, it's inside a messages domain. Instead of, let's alias this like that. So now we can say this, and we'll talk about passing messages around. All right. I could make this async. I could. Sure. Let's make this async. Async task So then instead of doing that, right, ask returns a task, so I can wait. And boom goes the dynamite. Join channel now is... It's actually being called outside. How did Blazor get this far without someone saying, hang on a moment? It's still in preview. They're still changing stuff. You've had luck with making stuff internal, making internals visible to unit testing, assembly with internals visible to attribute. Yeah. I'm okay with that as well. Yeah, let me go back. I can go either way. So on click join channel. So that should, yes, look at that. And do I have a using statement in here that it's, yeah, there it is. How did it get this far without, and now it's breaking? Let's do this. Can I do that? And that never works. That always errors out on me. If you don't want it public. Yeah. Right. Back over here. I need to make this protected so that the HTML, so that the template can see it. That should work.
Teal Old Man just resubscribed for 4 months. Well, hey there, Jeff. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much, Teal Old Man. I appreciate you tuning in and joining us. And we'll make another donation to Veterans Who Code. All right. So here's my page. And I'll start to show you now where things are getting here because it's about to get really interesting with this. So this should still work now that we've moved everything around a little bit and done a little bit of refactoring. Come on now. Not quite sure. Am I paused? I am paused. Don't need those right now. There we go. All right. So I don't have access to the current channels because I'm not logged in. I'll log in. This will route me through Auth0, have me log in with Twitch, and there's my information. You can see email addresses, all that stuff, my Gravatar picture that goes with this, and man, I look fabulous. But there's all the claims, including there's the role that's being passed back for global admin. I can click through to current channels and I can see the channels I'm currently joined to. Now, here's where it's going to get interesting. I can join this to the C# Fritz channel and it'll be hanging out there and ready to interact. So if I join to C# Fritz, the bot is now sitting in the channel and I can execute the Teal Old Man command. And that should come back because it's interacting on the channel. I've got some errors here. Resubscribe actor, don't care about that one. New subscribe actor, don't care about that one. New subscriber, gift subscriber actor, raid, I'm not worried about those, but it should have hit that event. Let's see here. So this is a series of actors that all work together. And if we look at the actors that we've defined here, particularly we'll start with our channel actor. Our channel actor listens to Twitch. It starts a connection to Twitch. See? And when it receives a message, it forwards a message to the new message actor. The new message actor looks at the different things that are coming in. Is there a message that wait a sec, hang on. Channel actor. Yeah, channel actor. So start the event. So on message received, it's going to forward a message received to the new message actor, which is up here. New message actor is this one. So it's going to receive those arguments, and we're going to just debug right out that information. And we're going to tell this chat logger object, and this is where SignalR starts to come in. I want to be able to see that information being output here. Now, there is also a chat command actor here that should reach out, and Teal Old Man is the first command that we specified here. This is our Easter egg command that we put in here to troll Quill Tony when we deploy this. But when a chat command is received, it's supposed to trigger this method and figure out exactly what to do with that command. And we have a command called Teal Old Man Command Actor that just broadcasts a message. This is the simple scenario. Just here's a line of text, here's a command, here's a line of text to output. Very simple interaction back and forth with the bot. And the idea is eventually, instead of these being commands in here that are defined as extra things, eventually we'll have this load from a database. And we'll have that database configuration indicate here's the text of the command, and here's the text we'll output to chat. But we'll get past the simple scenario of just doing the straight interaction. We'll interact with the database and making it a lot more configurable later. So for some reason, this isn't triggering those chat commands. So I'm going to go back over to the channel actor, and I want to see that happen for that command. There it is. So it's going to forward. Good. If I step into that, it didn't go anywhere. So chat command up here should be a thing. Did we get an error? Dead letters encountered. Dead letters is when it doesn't know where to send a message. Let's step through this one more time. So interesting. New message forward arguments. So the arguments, there's my chat message from C# Fritz. It doesn't see that as a chat command. Interesting. Right, where's the text? Where's the text? Badges, information about me here. There it is, message. Teal Old Man. Now it didn't trigger that as a chat. Right, if I step into that, it doesn't know where to send those. Why is that? That feels weird. New message is the new message actor, and that's the chat command actor. Do those not exist? This local is terminated false, so it's running. And we're forwarding those objects. Strange things. Alright, let's see what we got here. If I put a break there, and we put a break here, let's see what it steps through to. Okay, so we got through to the message actor. So here's the chat message. Chat message. Hello. I would like to see that. Visual Studio should be giving me a little peek here. I should be able to see what's going on. Uh-oh. I've gone too far. I've broken Visual Studio. Of course I have. Yeah, look at this. Ooh, boy. Yeah, boom is right. Right? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Holy crow. So, yeah, I'm using preview versions of Visual Studio here. You're not telling the channel actor to forward it to the command actor. I'm not telling it.
NU235 just resubscribed for 4 months.
Hey, thanks for the resub. I very much appreciate that, and we'll make a donation to Veterans Who Code. I am telling it to forward it. When I look at the channel actor down here, right, there's the actor that I've built, and I'm forwarding. Now, I do have a little bit of an issue here around creating these actors, because they take an extra. There's a forward missing in the new message actor. You only tell it to log it. Good luck to breaking Visual Studio more. Thanks. I've had that happen on Watch Window and WPF. Yeah. Right. I mean, this is preview versions. These are the things they're looking for, and they're logging these errors so they can figure out why it breaks. Let me go back over to the new message. Yeah. So, chat logger, I go and find, right, I'm doing actor selection. I actually go find the chat logger. Let me show you what that does. Because the chat logger is how I want to be able to output information to my web browser. Right? Not just because I'm never going to be able to see this console window going by. So if I log in, there I am. I'm logged in. I click through to current channels. Interesting. It didn't create the new message actor. Let me key one of these in. Join. Alright, so it finally created the new message actor. It's saying this chat logger, it's going to go find the chat logger actor. So chat logger actor is going to be able to interact with the screen. On the channel manager, there's a chat logger object. We're going to go find one of those and put it on this chat logger object, and there it is. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to configure so that when we receive a new message in chat, we're going to tell the chat logger actor, we're going to tell it, here's a new message that you need to process. And we're also going to debug right line out some information. So we've got that configured so that we can do that interaction. Have had that happen. Okay, we already saw that. So if I write this is a test. So new message forward. So it's going to forward that information, and it comes through here. It's a new message. It gets into the new message actor. Great. I'm going to debug right line out information about that, which will dump out here. It didn't debug. No, it'll go into the debug window. I'm sorry, I didn't write it to the console. This is a test. There it is. It's behind my noggin there. Right there. So we've got that, but I want to tell my chat logger object this information. So I've got a chat log message. We're going to tell chat logger about that, and nothing happens. If I go back to my page, it doesn't come through. Let me show you what's going on here, and we can debug a little bit further and fix some of these other errors that we have. But I'm also worried about why that command doesn't fire there. See, it's okay, there's the new message, and it should forward that. Great, but I want to get the chat command. Right, on command received, it should find the teal old man command. Right, there we go. Context actor of teal old man actor. Right there. That's the wrong. Create actor for command. Return the wrong one. Right, context actor of. That should create if one's not available. Right, let me go back to that. Create actor for command text. The command text is this. So it should create a teal old man command actor, which over here has one constructor. We should see it step into that. It did. Okay. So this command, yeah, all right. So it's got a bogus name on the end of it. So it's going to store that. And now we're going to tell that. Oh, look at that. The sender is off the dead letters queue. That's not where I want it to send. Oh, that's not expected. Ho ho. Ooh. Okay, okay. So we got something that I need to figure out there. But what I want you to see is I wrote this actor. Gosh, I feel like there's a handful of things here that I need to fix before I can even get into this problem. What do you say, chat room? We go back and figure that out a little bit and then get to this. Gosh. There's a couple of really ugly things going on here. You know? So I'm doing a properties create for each one of these objects, each one of these command actors that are coming through here. So I need to receive and store, right? Things like the new subscriber actor actually take a currency repository also. So I need to pass in the currency repository. So I need to receive those objects and pass it along. I feel like I need to detect it and add it to the constructor. Right? It's almost like I could do reflection to figure out what it is, but I don't want to do more reflection to figure out what those things are, just to add them in here. If I did, what do you think, chat room? How am I going to pass those? Because not every one of these actors has extra parameters like that. What if I did a, what if I did a params? Right, object, args like that. Right? Hello, Liverpool Fortnite. Yes, we are nerds. Thank you. So if I did have extra arguments to pass in here, I could pass, right? I could say, well, here's the actual, yes, we do. Right, I could kind of join the two together to create a complete, right? Right, if I had real args equals, and if I took, put configuration at the front, right? So if I do new object like this, config, and said real args equals array dot, right? Can I do a join? Isn't it array join? I thought there was an array join you could do. Right. Real args dot. Now come on, that's right. That's a link thing, isn't it? There we go. No. I want to concat. Sorry for being annoying. It's your dime. No problem. Concatenate. That's what I want. Concatenate those in. Right. Concatenates 2 sequences. Right. Now why doesn't it like that? Oh, I need the 2 array on the end. Of course. So it'll join those 2. So even if there's nothing passed, it'll push the 2 together. And then I could pass like this. So then I can pass into, not that one, that doesn't have it, but these do. Like this, so that I get the currency repository properly passed into those. That should take care of that little issue that we had. How would you tell where one ends and the other one starts, or do you not care? I don't care, actually, Simon. Just join the 2 together. Hey, Svava's here. Hello. Say hello to her. Good to see you. Alright, so if I log in, I'm waiting to see this pop when I click through to the channels. So I didn't get that big wall of red text. It looks like we're good there. So here you can see I've turned on all my logging for, you know, the thing. You know, for SignalR. Now let me try running that teal old man command and see if it runs. No, it doesn't. Did it hit a breakpoint? Didn't even hit a breakpoint. Oh wait, didn't hit a breakpoint because I didn't join the channel. Got to do that first. Now we're joining the channel. All right, I know what those are. Go ahead. All right, let me try that command again. Da, da, da. There it is. So it's gonna forward. Right, debug right line, chat logger tell, good. Chat command forward, on chat command received. This command tell, that right there is what I'm looking for. Da, da, da. Yeah, here it is. And the sender, yeah, it's the dead letters queue. I don't want it to tell. See, it's going to forward that message. Sender is null, so it just errors out and dies. So that's the problem that we're having over there, is the sender that I'm forwarding on behalf of is wrong. Copper Beardy, just noticed Fierce Kittens got added to the live coders. Yes. Fierce Kittens is a live coder. Nice, I love the song Nothing Else Matters. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate that. You're going to be a tier 1. We're going to give you a purple hat badge, just like all the funny baseball caps that I wear here on stream. I appreciate... And then we'll also make a donation to Veterans Who Code. Thank you for reminding me, Janescu. Yeah. So, really appreciate that. Wow, let me go back over here. Yes, Fierce Kittens got added to the live coders team. Tuesday night, she's going to be writing some code live on her channel. We'll probably raid right into her from the end of our channel, our stream here on that day. All that matters is args containing all the things and the ones you need are present when you get them. In the right order. They should be in the right order. I'm kind of assuming that right now. We'll figure that out later. Try a forward in the teal old man actor. Well, I think we need to actually get the channel that we want to forward to. Right? I want to get that. Ghost 131312. Thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. Is this connected to a Node.js based API? It is not. This is all C#. This is all .NET, front, back, in the middle. I do have some JavaScript on the front end. Is that Jim Demis or Jim Demis? Let me know. Thanks so much for the sub. Yeah, we'll give you a purple hat badge as well, and we'll make a donation to Veterans Who Code. There was a question up there. Any advice on ASP.NET by example tutorials except Microsoft website? Papa Smurf of Death. Hang on. Let me introduce Papa Smurf properly here. Let's do this. Can we do this?
Papa Smurf of Death.
I think that's more appropriate. We have an ASP.NET Core workshop that we did about a year ago. You can find it on the YouTube channel. You'll see the YouTube channel URL go by here, youtube.com/C#Fritz, and you'll find it there. It's our most watched video, 8 hours long, showing how to build an application with C#, Razor, HTML, CSS. And we're going to run another workshop July 12th here live on stream. Click the events button up top, and you'll see July 12th we're going to have that. Build your first ASP.NET, intro to ASP.NET Core, and on July 19th we'll do build your first Blazor application as well. C# Corner is another great place to go for help. Yes. All right. Okay, let's do this. So that looks like it's sending over properly. The question is when those commands are being processed, right? The commands need to be sent back to this stream so that it knows how to whisper or broadcast the message. So, right, thinking out loud. So chat command forward arguments. I want to get it back into this. We could pass around the actor name in the case of a channel actor and resolve it. Yes. I think that might be the way to go. That sounds like a great way to go. So I'm not just, if I'm forwarding that message, right now it's the on-chat command received arguments. I feel like I'm going to need to open that up and pass some more information in besides those so that it also includes the name. Right, I'm doing do I want to do a forwards the message using the current sender? What if I do it, tell, delivers a message to this in a non-blocking? No. C# looks so clean compared to some of the PHP 5 code I get given. Well, maybe it does a little bit. Part of what a forcing factor there is I'm using a great text editor that helps to enforce some formatting, and I also get I also have a compiler helping out, right? I don't think I want to ask. Forward feels like the right thing to do, right? Because I'm forwarding on sending the message along with the current sender, but for some reason it keeps coming back with the dead letter queue. Hey, Binary Chef, good to see you. There's Binary Chef. So I feel like if I do need to pass along the information about the channel actor. Well, wait a sec. These have been... Let's think about this. Let's go over here to the... Right, the chat command. No, where is it? Chat command actor. Right, so... wow. Is that LTE Jedor? Yedor. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate you following us. With the tell, you have a second parameter and you stick context self into it. Okay. Maybe we can do that. Right where it's right there. The sender being, right, if I turn this into tell and say context self, right, I'm forcing, and I feel like I need to do new message. I'm not really processing yet, but that should help. Let's see what information it has when it gets there using that information. If you need to pass extra bits and bobs, nice. It makes sense to encapsulate the whole payload into one easily extensible type. I have. I've done that with a number of other ones where I've got message classes that I can extend and add those features into. So let's go through this process again, logging in, there we go. Current channels, this one, there it is. So now if I execute the teal old man command, so there it's outputting about the message. It's telling, ooh, not supported exception. Why not? Like, context. It doesn't know the context. Are you kidding? It doesn't know the context because we were triggered in an event of this. We're not in the context of the actor processing a message. So there is no actor context happening here. Interesting. Okay. So, right, self is supposed to send an iActorRef to itself. I can't pass. Can I... This is going to seem weird. Public iActorRef self equal. Right? Can we do this? And at construction, can we say... Can we do that? And get it to pass the information along. Instead of a... This doesn't feel quite right. Let's see what we get here. Right, it's the dead letter queue for messaging because it doesn't know where it's coming from. All right, so there it's processing the message. Here we go. So self is now a thing. Right. Okay. So, yep. So it handles the message. Continue. Here we go. So we've got the actor. Okay. Save that off. This command tell context sender. There we go, is the channel. Boom, there it is. Looks like the JavaScript, this alias. It is a bit, yes. Right? In both languages, this refers to the current instance of the object. Yes. Absolutely. In which case, now I want to go back over to here, and I believe we should always pass so that we do get, when these events trigger, a reference to the correct object for it to interact with. Right? It's not forward, it needs to be tell. Rats. Let's replace those. And that should take care of that problem. Okay. One more problem fixed. So, let's now get back over to our SignalR discussion here. Because I think this is where we're going to have... I didn't want to close that. So, I have a hub here called Logger Hub. And I've been trying a bunch of different things here. But I want to be able to log a message passing some sort of a level and message here. I'm not sure that that's going to work, passing this enum here. Maybe I turn that into a string. Yeah. And let's make this a hub of type iChat logger so that we can always be ensured that we have clients that have a method called log message. By doing that now, I've actually broken a bunch of things, but it'll help me walk through and show you everywhere that that's wired up. Over here in my startup class, I have, where is it? I'm looking for add SignalR. There it is. We're adding SignalR right there so it knows what we're doing. Down here we have our logger hub is listening on a path called logger hub. So we'll connect to it and we'll establish a WebSocket connection to that endpoint, and this object will process and handle those for us. SignalR power indeed. All right, and we'll talk about security in a bit. So I now also have a chat logger actor that's receiving an iHub context. I don't want to just receive. It's now iChat logger is the type of the client that we're receiving, which means I need to expand this so I have this reference to that endpoint so I can interact with it, so I can do things. And instead of saying, well, let me get to that in a second. Good. That needs to have one of these. All right. And this is created here. I've started wrapping my actors so they pass in their own information here. I want to receive that. And this is created. See, I've put my own creates together here. It's created in startup. Right here. So I create my actor system here and start passing information in. Yeah, that's right. Why don't you like that? It's on this create method. Forgot one more. So I have a create method, static method on channel manager actor that knows how to create it appropriately with the correct arguments. Fantastic. So SignalR is the Blazor equivalent of Angular HTTP client for server-side callback. SignalR is the node equivalent of what's it called? Something IO. The WebSocket, the channels that Node folks use. What's it called? Socket IO. No, man. Yes. Thank you. There you go. Socket IO and SignalR are attempt the same thing. Socket IO, though, is tightly bound to WebSockets. SignalR is actually an abstraction across all of those communications technologies so that it will use whichever features are available on the client that's attempting to connect. Great, you don't have WebSockets, it'll step down to server-send events. You don't have server-send events, it'll step down and do iframes with a technique called forever frame. You don't have support iframes? Great, it'll do buffered requests, where it'll send a request with some information and it'll keep the connection open and wait to receive some information on that message, on that connection, close it and restart it again immediately so that you always have a connection. It's a great way to do that interaction without being coupled to just one technology. This way also, when the technology advances and we don't have WebSockets, the next thing comes up and it's WebFoo. I don't know what it is. You continue programming against SignalR, and it just works when they swap out WebSockets for foo. So that's very cool way to get that feature. So now I have a chat logger here. I want to send to all the clients, right? And it doesn't like the send async. I've actually now got a log message command here that I can call and pass those things appropriately. Log level now I can do to string, and I'll get that information output. Okay, let's see what this does. Let's see if we can get this thing to work, because I want to see that log messages out to the browser. Hola! Hey, Crows. Good to see you. Let's see if we can get some messages. Look at that, 100%. Who was asking for 100%? Take a screenshot. Right there, 100% sentiment. All so happy in the chat room right now. Love seeing that. Haven't seen too many emotes today, though. All right, so I'm logged in. Current channels. I'll join to C# Fritz. There it is. And I'm going to open my console here. So I've got all these things. Debug write line. Good. Write the line out. So it's going to send that log levels information, and it should send C# Fritz test. Yes. I don't need to see all that. Good. I'm going to take that off, but it should send those messages out. And see, I'm not, this is where our next hurdle is. It didn't send the messages back to the browser. Something's weird here where it's losing that connection, right? And it's not outputting over here. I should see it come all the way through. What I've done to test this is I've actually got, right, if I go here, it actually sends a message through. Turn that off. Let those flow through. So I executed a little test method here, and it sends through my test message. So I verified that I can connect to and I can pass a message through, and my connection works all the way through to my output. But for some reason, I'm not getting my other data coming out. So I have a connection on log message. I'm going to receive a level and a message, and right now I'm just console debugging. Here's the message. So I'm not even inspecting that level at all. Inside my little test controller here that's sending that out, I'm receiving a channel name. I'm saying join channel. That's fine. Log message, log level information. So that's not even the right method signature right now, but it worked. Okay. Let me turn this around, and I will make this right. Logger context. What was it? I chat logger. There it is. Let's make sure this all matches. Boom, 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 boom. So now I can say log message. To string. Okay. And I should await that, because that's going to return a task. Make sure that this works. Excuse me. Task. What don't you like there? Oh. Right. Async task on this. And why don't you like that? Cannot await void. No. Log message is a task right there. Putz. Oh. There we go. One more time. Let's see if this works. And what I'm thinking is happening, and I think Stelzy and some other folks here are getting some insight into what's happening. I think I'm losing my reference to my context here. So I'll tell it to join the channel, right? I'll open up the console, so we should be able to see something going on there. Right? Nothing comes out. It isn't outputting information. But, right? Open that second browser. And it does output my test message. So I do get a good connection to it, but it looks like if I go to my chat logger here, it looks like that object isn't working. I'll do test here. So check this out. We'll go chat logger, clients. If I take a look at the all collection here, I can dig down into this, and I know the font's really, really small. If I look at the connections, there's no connections. So somewhere we lose a reference to it. Exactly, Stelzy, exactly. How are we losing that? Cyralash, good morning. Good to see you. Somewhere we're losing that connection. If I look at the test controller and we put a pause on that same thing, right? I'm going to turn off this. And if I trigger the same interaction here, so if I look at the all collection here, open this up, drill down into it till we get to the connections, that says count 0 as well. But if I let it run, well, now I've broken it. Right? Oh, wrong browser. Over here. Ooh, I've lost the connection. It didn't reconnect. Refresh. Run that. Clients all. Open these up. Connections. 1. There it is. So I get a connection and it does properly output the information. So somewhere I'm getting disconnected. What's the scope of the reference? Simon asks. Good question. The so this iHub context is right here. I make it a public read-only reference. Do we use a singleton DI for the reference? Ooh. Good question. So when we add SignalR here, it's creating that iHub context for us. What's the scope of it there? Well, it's needs to be static or singleton. You know what? I think it sounds like it's scoped. It sounds like it's scoped and it's either scoped or transient and it's not getting GC'd. It just doesn't have a reference to the new state of information. Illuminated Space, welcome. Great to see you. Illuminated Space is another one of our new live coders. You can learn all kinds of cool stuff from her. Check out the live coders link below. Click through. We should be able to do a shout out here. Let's see if that works. We're gonna do shout outs today, chatbot? No. No. My shout out command isn't working today, and now I feel bad. Yeah, I'm losing scope there is what's going on. Hey, Ancient Coder, good to see you. Yeah, livecoders.dev. And that'll take you over there. It's like com interop and the reference to it is what's getting orphaned. Yes, that's exactly the kind of thing that's happening. The reference is orphaned. It's disconnected from its underlying object. So how do we do this? Yeah, Illuminated Space raised 250 for, I believe it was the Texas, what was it? The Texas what center? That was that's helping some of the kids in Texas. That Texas Races Center. That's right. So very cool stuff. Happy to see that. Hey, President, not sure. So we're getting disconnected there. So how immigrants and asylum seekers? Yes, that's it. Wanted to make sure that I said it properly. I didn't want to refer to it improperly. So if we're losing the connection to SignalR, if we're losing that reference to it, so what if it hurts sentiment? That's okay. Right? These things clearly need to be able to push back into it. I feel like there needs to be a singleton queue hanging out somewhere. If there's a singleton queue, then I'm going to have that persistent reference that I'm not. Could we resolve it and give it to the actor in the configure service? The challenge is we're going to need to resolve it on every request. We're not in a request. We're outside of a request. We're in an event that triggered that doesn't have. Yeah, but I do this. It's like I need to somehow refresh the context. Similar issues with SignalR where it works, but then times out in IIS. Says Beck Bristow. Yeah, there's. What do we have on this thing? Clients. Can I like refresh? No. Clients all no. Right, somehow we need to resolve it in the actor to every message. We need to resolve it. We need to like late resolve it to so that we can identify where all it's connecting. Right, hub context. It's like scope? Something like that? No, this. Let's see what we got here. Send messages from outside a hub. Get an instance of iHub context. Use the instance to send messages to clients. How to inject instance of iHub context. You just receive it. See, and it's very short-lived. It just poof, it's gone. Now with access to an instance of iHub context, you can call methods as if you were in the hub itself. The strongly typed context, that's it. That's all the information about it. API design considerations. What do we have over here? Use custom object parameters to ensure. When the old client tries to invoke this method, it'll get an error like this. On the server, you'll see. Yeah, whatever. Either has to be static or singleton DI, preferably singleton DI for every actor. Right. So, let's draw a comparison here. Let's go back over to my GitHub repository. And let's go to the Stream Tools project. Because we use SignalR a lot over here. Inside of Stream Tools, right, we've got a background Twitch service. Where is it? Services. Here. And this receives... Where is it? This. The Fritz Twitch proxy. I forget where I put that. Where did I put that? Yes, GitHubby McGithub face. That's a thing. Where did I put that? No, I didn't want to click on that. It's not down there. And I don't think it's over here. Oh, maybe it is. HTTP client. No, that's not. I abstracted. They should be. You should be able to make these two work together nicely. I thought there was a way from inside that Twitch service that it's sending. I'm not going to pronounce that, but I appreciate the follow. I want to make sure that we stay family friendly here. But I appreciate you joining us. Updated invoke. Yeah. That updated event. Where is it? Where is it? Come on. Updated. So it's invoking that. That's being listened to and being handled somewhere. Let me open this. Why am I doinking around when I can just open it and actually browse through it? What protocol am I using for SignalR? Long poll, server-side events, WebSockets. It'll default to WebSockets and then step down. There is a way to do this. Yes, that's in the old technique. In pre-start, going and getting the hub context. I mean, I could do something like that. Come on, load. What's your problem, Visual Studio? What's your problem? Come on.
You can do it!
Get open here. Yeah, we gotta quit doinking around, right? Too much doinking. And doinking? Well,
it's illegal in 9 countries.
It is. It's illegal in 9 countries. No more doinking. Really? You make me sad, Visual Studio. Yak shaving. Indeed. I can't remember where I do this. Where I... Right, because there's a thing in here that when... Right, gets the current follower count. Watches the viewers. When new viewers happened, increments the counter, and then updates the event. It says, "Oh, we've got new followers," and that updated event right here triggers a SignalR notification. That really isn't working, is it? What the heck? All right. We'll just open this Visual Studio. I've got plenty of Visual Studios. There's always more Visual Studios. Open a project. You thought the yaks would appreciate the shaving? Nice. Nice. See what that. The yaks would appreciate the shaving? Oh, yeah. They would. They would, Simon. Alright. Try this Visual Studio. Why have one Visual Studio when you can have two? And have them both hanging on the same projects? For real? My license will expire? Come on now. Come on now. Do you know who I am?
What'd you do?
Thank you. That took way too long to play that sound effect. And the font size should update. Oh, it's... There we go. Alright. So in this application, the way this one works... So let's go to the services. So there's the Twitch service. And I should be able to look at that updated event. There it is. And see where it's being referenced. There. So inside of my follower hub, I'm receiving the stream service. So I'm actually doing this inside of. I have follower client. And this has the iHub context. Okay. And there it is, taking the hub and notifying. So this gets created. And it's receiving the event information. And at the time that it receives it, of course it has the context. Right? Follower, because when follower client is created, it gets the context right at that time. You only have one back. Yes, absolutely. Look after it. For sure. Basically wrapping the hub context, put it in the DI as a singleton. Is it? So follower client is being added as a singleton. You're right. You're right. Okay. So if we go back over to our code over here, now I should have 3 Visual Studios open. This one still isn't done loading.
You're about to get a serious beatdown.
No, it doesn't want to open. Fine. I'll work with this one. Yeah, I think we need to put it into a dependency injection and as a singleton wrapper object and pass it around, which is going to feel weird, but I think that's what we're going to need to do. That singleton would also be used as the factory for consumers to interact with it. Yes.
Far Ewings just resubscribed for 9 months. Boop.
Boop indeed. Thank you so much, Fairy Wings, for that very kind subscription.
Wait, let me explain something to you.
You're gonna get a new hat because we're changing up. We've got new hats, new hat badges for everybody. You're not gonna have a blue hat for much longer. We'll get those installed, and for next time, folks will see new hat badges, new everything. We're gonna spruce things up here on the channel, and it's gonna be tremendous. How many Visual Studios can he get? Don't test me, Illuminated Space. There's another Visual Studio code. There's another Visual Studio code. Let's see, I'm gonna go to the installer I'm going to install some more Visual Studios while I'm here. Because do you ever see this? Folks refer to it as Visual Studios is the name of the application. When clearly when you look at the title of it, it's singular.
Make it so.
See? Visual Studio installer. So. Alright, so now I've got 2 Visual Studio codes open. Right. See, I can get more of these. Who knew? Alright. So, if we put that into... I don't want to put it in components. I don't want to put it in controllers. Let's create a service for it. Right next to Logger Hub. I put it in here because I'm not going to have too many hubs. Hubs? Sure. We'll call this a class, and let's call this... chat log proxy, because I'm going to wrap up that object in it. Right? So if I create a constructor and we receive an iHub context of type logger hub. I wish it would just automatically know what type it is. iChat logger, and we'll call this context. This dot chat logger equals context. Nah, that feels wrong. Chat logger, we'll call it that. And we'll create one of these. It's a read-only property, so now I've got that. If I pass that around as a singleton, go back to startup. So here, if I say services add singleton, I can specify the type, right? And that was chat log proxy. Yeah. So then instead of passing this, right? So now I've got that, which is, right, the wrong type here. So instead of receiving one of these, it's a chat log proxy. So now if I dig into that, change that, channel manager actor, that's this, right? Oh, that needs to go to chat log proxy. That needs to go to that needs to go to here. Chat log proxy. Then I'm creating one of these, which is now receiving a chat log proxy. That means this chat log proxy. And here, instead of doing that, that looks weird. It does. Let's make this private. And let's put our log message right here. Public async task log message. Let's put the log level here. Sure. String message. And just wrap that. Await chat logger dot clients all log message level to string, and the message is message. Done. So now I can come back over to this and just say like that. Get rid of this. You're kidding. Somewhere it's the wrong extensions log level. This one is wrong one. Shouldn't be Akka event log level. I want this to be that log level. The logging log level. So that should, let's see if that works. Standing up with the green screen for the screen won't, the green screen doesn't extend high enough. Huh? Yeah, chat loggers. So, right, this is a key feature that we need to make work in the technology so that from the actor, as the events happen, we can pass information back to the browser so that we can activate the widgets that we're building, like Fairy Wings, the custom cheer bar that we were building with her. So if I do that, okay, so now it's joined to the channel. No. Doesn't look like it passed all the way through. So there's a message from Stelzy. If I look at the clients all, no, 0. Is it because it's resolving the hub context while nobody's connected? Do we need to resolve the hub context later? Do you follow? What if we did this? Oh, yes. What if we did that? Stop the press. So over here in startup, right, we have the service provider right there. What if in building the chat log proxy, we put the service provider in it? Which feels totally weird. Right, so create one of those. Okay. Less junk being passed in and the call is succinct. Watch out, we had this issue with memory cache. When you're initializing, you have not inadvertently passed a load of proxies with null members. Thanks for the tip, Simon. Good point. Very good point there. So if I get rid of this, I could say var chat logger equals provider dot get service, right? Fix that spacing just because I'm funny like that. Fairy Wings! God, there's nothing there. Thanks so much for that very kind cheer. 100 bits. Oh my gosh. You could do the get service in the getter. Oh, sure. Oh, that's a great idea. Good thinking. I like it. Thanks so much, Fairy Wings, for that very kind cheer. And we'll make another donation to Veterans Who Code. Now, why doesn't it like that? Get services. Yeah. iHub contents, logger hub, iChat logger. Shouldn't it be just get service? Yeah, that's what I thought. Stupid thing. All right, so now when you call log message, it should resolve it at last second. 24 Minutes has a question. Developing a web application with ASP.NET Core using different web APIs and connection strings. How can I secure the secrets in production without the use of Key Vault, of Azure, or AWS? Is there any? Yes. Let's come back to this in a second. If you want to put your secrets somewhere else, you can put them in there as environment variables. You can put them in as a different configuration file that only exists in production, and you have it load from that location on disk. There are some other configuration providers that you can use to load your secrets if you don't want to use a secret store like that. But you can store environment variables, files, a couple other places. DI happens before a init, so proxies contain singleton that was not initialized. One solution is to add a init method to the proxy, move the init code there, call from when the init code currently is. That way init is done from the same, not instance. Some services were not able to be constructed. Unable to resolve service for type. So why don't we do this? Because we're kind of injecting, right? We're injecting into the injection, which is weird. Use Key Vault unless you have a really good reason not to. Well, the reason not to would be if you're not on Azure. You like the thought of a config file, but MSDN clearly says it's a bad practice for production. If folks can get to the file system in production, you've got another problem. If you do environment variables, it's stored in memory and it's stored as a configuration file somewhere in a script. So you're still running into it. How much do you want to limit your exposure? Let me go back to startup. So instead of saying provider get service, why don't we just new it up? Right? And pass in the, right, the provider. It's right there. Right? So I'm adding singleton up here. Yeah, that's a circular reference there. If your server gets hacked into or similar, you have other issues. Yeah, right. Right, so I can specify how this is created, can't I? There we go. Right, so I can say new chat log proxy service provider. Right, that's an I. Oh, okay. Ooh, I need to pass an I service provider. Fine, I'll do that instead. That should still work. Tell me it works. Hosting it on DigitalOcean VPS. Yeah, you can also set those environment variables and have them pass through. Since you're on that hosting provider, they should have a way for you to specify environment variables and have them passed through from your administration console. Something like that. Let's see if this works now. Log in. You know who I am. I'm a Twitch person. Once we get this done, we can have Ferry back on, and we'll have Ferry back on. We'll continue working on our custom cheer bar, and our friend Imperial, she used to be Imperial Girl, she's now just Imperial, has an idea, a suggestion for building a widget that's an actual train for a sub-train or a follower train. When there's a bunch of folks that all join together, we'll have train cars go across the screen with their names on it. That's pretty cool, and I said to her, if you want it, you're going to have to come on and help us build it. And we'll learn a little bit, but that cheer bar is the first one we're going to go back to building once we get SignalR working with this. So let's see. I'm going to join C# Fritz. It's this plumbing, it's this goo that we need to put in so that we can scale. That'll be amazing. All right, so if I type that, I see a whole bunch of stuff happening and nothing. What happened? It should have done a thing. Let me put a breakpoint there and a breakpoint over here. Right? Okay, so there it is. Chat logger clients, all. Yeah. Connections, 0. It still doesn't have any connections. Wait a sec. All right, so get the service. Yeah. It didn't come back down into here. All right, so it right, all. Did we get the service this time? Connections, 0. So even though we're requesting it right at the last minute, we're still not getting any connections. Is this connecting to the Twitch API for this channel? Yes, it is. Yep, well, it's connecting to the IRC for it right now. And it's just right, we're hitting this disconnect here where it's just not returning properly. So we have one chat log. What if... Does it need to be a singleton? What if we take this out? Right, and if we just make that say add transient. Yes, the JavaScript client does connect to it. There go those horses. They love JavaScript. Here we go. Come on, we can get this to work. We can do it.
Totes my goats.
Totes. Okay. Wow. Kandrak. Thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. Okay, so it's joined now. Okay. I feel like I should like pin this value down here for the connections. Right there. Right? But it's 0. Still 0. Right? But if I use that same technique, same technology, and I get it at the last minute, here, I've got one connected. Right, we look at the console, there it is. So what's the difference? What are we missing here? Right? There we go. Nope, 0 connected. Even though it just resolved and said, go get me that hub context. No, I think we're going to go a little bit longer today. So why aren't we getting that context? Why aren't we getting it? Right, if we go back over to our other sample here, I'm going to turn that off. Rock LeBest. Is it Rocklebest or Rock LeBest? Thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. Take care, Simon. Right, follower client. It's right there. Where was it? I thought I had it registered somewhere. Configure services. It's added as a singleton. Right, and it receives that iHub context right up front. So it should be there. Steve got smaller than you remember? Oh yeah, Steve's here. So, I mean, creating that as a singleton and passing it around. Right? If I add this, so it's after SignalR, add singleton. And if it receives, and it, cut that out. Let's actually just put this all on one line. Okay, not really one line. No. One line. There we go. Actually. Right? Right? If I turn that back to iHub context, logger hub, iChat logger. Chat logger equals chat context. Fine. That should just... Huh? What do you mean it can't be found? Oops. There we go. Seems we have two different hub instances. Try to stick a GUID on the hub to confirm that we got to different hubs. So essentially create two different hubs for clients to connect. Oh. I see what you're saying, Stelzy. I see what you're saying. All right, let's do that. That's a really good point. Public GUID my ID get let's see what we get there. If we have two different hub instances, is it because did we get split up into two different spaces? So if I'm over here and we put a break there, and let's also put one, we've still got that one up there, current channels. What? What? No. This. All right, so there we go. So there's chat logger. Clients all blah, 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 blah. 0 connected. How do I don't have reference to the hub directly, right? I can't touch the hub. I can see the clients. Default hub lifetime manager. Right, I can't see the hub that we're on. Internal hub clients. Da, da, da. But you're right, clearly we've got two different ones. Wait a sec. We build the service provider here, and it gets built again when we're done. Because at the conclusion of this method, configure services, we need to have these objects. Right, I don't have the iService collection. Let's move the iService collection and the construction of this down here so that we're not building this. No, it's adding that singleton for the channel manager actor. This is interesting, isn't it? that somehow we've got two instances of that connection being passed around. What else do we have on the get service method here? Nothing. Great. Is there something I'm missing here? Creates, well, okay, there's one. We're not creating scope. Get a required service. What if we, do we have to create scope to go get that object? Let's go back to the way that we had this here. Right, where we were passing in. Yeah, the iService provider. Let me come back over to here. Change this back. And let's create scope here. And then return it. Right, that way we get a scoped request. What do you mean it's never used? It's used right there. That's weird. So let's try that now that we're forcing scope to exist. Right, to create the scope of the creation of the object. So that hopefully it resolves it instead of goes and figures it out. Okay, there's that. Current channels. Good. Zero. Yeah. Still zero. Even though we're resolving it, we're getting that scoped service right away. What's the difference between required service and service? Right? There's something going on here where we're not getting the object that we request. Gets a service of service type. Huh? That feels weird. Right, create scope is a way for us, let me go back to that so you can, here. It's a way for us to create a scope that we're going to, well, I need to be within that scope, don't I? Service provider, create scope, make sure I'm doing the syntax correctly. Here. I was just looking at that. Try to set the hub when you clearly know there is the correct hub is available. Run that by me again? Andrew Locke. Right, create scope, scope service provider. I'm not doing it correctly to get the scope. Right, so I'm going to get a scope out of this. And I believe the scope is disposable. Get required. No, the new improved answer create scope. Scope.service provider get required service. And do I have to put a using around that? Yeah, we should. See if we can force that to work now. Might be on null or error handling. I don't know. I'm trying to. Let's see if we can force that scope to pop open here for us. Come on. Okay. Turn that off. No, it's not coming through. It's the exact same message that we're sending through. And from that test controller, yeah, it's calling the exact same method there. What if, right, let's yank that. Right, what was it called? Chat log proxy. And let's just put a field here for that. That should work still. And this is absolutely something that nobody is doing yet with Akka and .NET Core. Pass that through, it doesn't work. But if I open a new browser, right, and we go localhost, what? That went through using the proxy. Somewhere a crazy thing happening with DI, and when it is injected, iHub context should be singleton in DI. iHub context is a singleton and already works as you would expect without writing custom code. Just inject it into your class and you call methods. Let's see what we got here from Stealthy. 2018. Well, hang on. Okay. Right, that's the way you... I figured out I used a different IOC in the configure services method. I built a new container with services build service provider. I used the service provider to retrieve my singletons and inject objects. Ah, look at this. Injecting the iHub context in the CTOR of my controllers works, as you mentioned, so it seems as long as I use the ASP.NET Hub Core dependency injection, I receive the correct object. So it's likely you're creating another DI container or something strange like that to prove it. Make a new project. Right. So I'm creating another container, and it's a different instance because it gets resolved and built differently later. Just like we were saying. So if I go back to here, right, what's being passed in down here is different from what's being built up here. Urban Nomad asks, how hard would it be to learn JavaScript for an orchestration program from scratch and almost no experience? What do you mean by orchestration program? Give me a little bit of details there. And depends how. Take care, Stelzy. How much programming experience do you have? It's called VRO. I don't know what that is. Oh, for VMware Orchestrator, it's going to take you a little bit of work. It's going to take you a lot of bit of work. If you have zero programming experience, you're going to have to spend a little bit of time on it. Oh, well, if you're already an engineer, learning JavaScript shouldn't be hard then. You've only taken VB in college. JavaScript is a little bit different. If you know your Visual Basic, you are going to cross some boundaries there in getting from, because JavaScript is a dynamically typed language. You're going to cross some boundaries when you change over from Visual Basic to JavaScript. It's a lot different. Hey there, Silly Only. Welcome. So if this is two different service providers, I don't want to call provider get service down here. I want to pass my one and only. But it's going to be a different one than what I get by the provider that's built when this is done. But I do that service provider construction several times over here. Let's see. Startup services here. Right? Add singletons, configure, singleton. Register configured services. At some point, though, I thought I built. I don't. There it is. Way down here under add stream service. Where's that called? So after it gets built, I add it. Okay, so if we were to emulate that, we would do it down here. Right? I think that's what we're looking at. But isn't that all the language? Aren't all the languages like that? They are, yes. Free Code Camp is a great place to start with. Is a great place to start with interacting with, learning JavaScript. Some great samples to walk through there. When should we use event? Oh, look at that. Object reference not set. It depends. Events in C# are when you're doing a more stateful interaction, you want to use events because you're managing the state of process between object boundaries. So I would consider looking at using events if you're doing something more stateful, like a mobile application or a desktop application. When you're doing it inside of a server-side application, you need to have those server-side interactions stateful and managing the interactions back and forth with things. Chat logger actor, line 24. Here, it doesn't have that. It doesn't know what that is. You're welcome, Urban Nomad. Take care. That doesn't exist, does it? Yep. Null. So it didn't get when it resolved, it didn't get the object. So let's try this a different way. Let me come back over here. Let's do, come on, Jeff, where are you? Startup. So maybe instead of provider get service chat log proxy, right, to ensure we get the same thing, you're new in C#. Welcome. Do I always use Visual Studio? Have I tried that? Have I tried the IntelliJ IDE? No. I always use Visual Studio because I work for Visual Studio. So hang on. Looking over here, Add Streaming Services creates and right, that's iService collection is what's being passed in here. In this example, we build the service provider. And it gets those objects out. But it adds those back into the same service provider from the beginning and returns it. Okay. So it builds the service provider. We're going to add... I don't want to add that same provider. That's my problem right there. Right? I want an iService collection that I'm passing in. Oh, Glenn Condren is here.
For 5 months.
Glenn, I am running into DI nightmares. Your job used to be 100% Windows engineer, now you're a VMware engineer. Well, that's okay. Not a problem. Here's what I'm running into. I'm running into, in my singleton that I'm creating here for my actor objects, I'm trying to get my SignalR configuration passed in. You do like the integration of ReSharper, of JetBrains ReSharper within Visual Studio. Okay, good for you. You're welcome to that. There's a lot of cool refactorings that have been added to Visual Studio recently. And the folks at JetBrains have been able to focus on building out other cool new features to make you more productive. Do I really need to add a singleton here for the channel manager actor, or can I just leave it out somewhere? Right? Am I overthinking this entirely? This, I think, should not be receiving iService provider, but instead be receiving iService collection. No. All the Python folks you see in here are always using IntelliJ PyCharm, I think you might be referring to. Yeah, that's a thing. I shouldn't need to accept it. Okay. All right. Let's get rid of that. Let's skip on this. What I'm running into is I want to be able to receive, and I see I want to be able to receive a SignalR context like this. There. Oh boy. Right, so I can say like that. And be able to say clients all log message, and it should just work. What I'm running into is I'm not in the same state of these. I'm in two different hubs that I'm connected to, and it's really weird. So part of me is thinking that doing this build service provider here is not what I want. But I need that bot configuration way down here. Don't I need it? Wait a sec. Isn't that used somewhere? No, I stash a copy of it. Yes, I do use Azure. What conferences do I attend yearly? You need stuff from DI to register stuff. See, that's where I'm thinking this is backwards. But I do need my bot configuration. So, well, wait, that's a... Right? That is a something I should be able to pass in here. Right? Right? And I've stashed that now. I don't need this. I should be able to fetch these items, provider get service actor system and those, and be able to move them around. Right? iChannel configuration context. That's my data object. And I won't need to pass this thing because I'll be able to pass in the appropriate object. So if I remove that, I'm adding a singleton, and I need to specify how to create that object. DI is dependency injection. Hang on there, Urban Nomad. You got a couple good questions. You'll typically find me at the Microsoft conferences. You'll find me at Microsoft Ignite, Microsoft Build. You'll also find me at Dev Intersection in Las Vegas. Excuse me. And Dev Intersection in Orlando in the spring and the summer. I don't get invited to other conferences, so I don't go to them. I am the coordinator and MC for the Microsoft MVP conference, MVP Summit. I am the coordinator, content planner, and one of the hosts for .NET Conf. You'll see me there. I attend TwitchCon as well. I used to attend and speak at upwards to 20 conferences a year. And I don't participate in those anymore. That's okay. There's lots of other folks that are speaking and presenting, and you can find me 4 days a week here. So why travel somewhere to go hear from me when you can be right here and ask me a question anyway? So, yes, I do know John Skeet. We've had John on the stream before. Absolutely. So when we add singleton, I shouldn't be discarding the service provider. I can actually receive it and call the appropriate get services when it's created. Best conference right from your own good chair. Absolutely, DevXer. You can ask whatever questions you'd like. We can learn about whatever you're interested in right here. So it's going to add the singleton, and that should... Right? Why is this... oh, I've already got... let's call this bot config. So now I don't need to recreate it. This feels wrong. That's not right in ASP.NET Core 3. Now let's see if that works. Oh, wait a sec. We're going to blow up. Since I go to TwitchCon, does that mean you work for a gaming company? Nope. Pac-Man Jr. has you covered. I do. I work for Microsoft for the .NET team. I work for Visual Studio. You'll find me, if you go back and you look at the Visual Studio announcement, yeah, that's gonna blow it up. You look at the Visual Studio announcement videos, you'll see I was one of the hosts for that event. Yeah. I want to make sure that our team, our division, our folks that are working so hard on Visual Studio Code, .NET, the Azure tools, I want to make sure that you have access to us and our information, and so that you can learn, get some questions answered in that type of like morning talk radio call-in format. We're writing applications together here. You're welcome to send in pull requests, but we'll occasionally have guests on. We'll answer questions, we'll talk to them, and learn some stuff together. We've had folks like Glenn Condren join us, and Scott Hanselman, Scott Hunter. Those are the only two Scotts, no other Scotts. And we go around and we talk about all the different things that you might want to learn into. Not a problem, urban nomad. It's important that to me and to help the folks that are learning in our community, that you're getting access to those folks to help get your problems solved that you might have done at a... There he is. That guy. And we want to make sure that you can learn more. Does order matter inside the singleton? Actually, Terran CB, try executing the Skeet command in chat, and you'll get an interesting fact about John Skeet. It might not be real, but it'll be a thing. So hang on. So I'm going to change channel manager actor. I want to make sure I'm passing the object through properly. I'm not going to pass that. I'm going to pass now iHub context, and it's going to be what did I call it? Logger hub, comma I chat logger, and I'm passing that type around now. So it's going to create. We're going to pass it into here instead of that, which means it goes into chat logger actor create. That's fine. We're going to need to fix that create. So it receives one of these. And yes, I think we've got it now. Shame that quote is so out of date. Already written a book about... Yeah, we can fix that. We have some diehard SCCM and the orchestration program people on our team. They make a political thing to avoid VMware. Oh, that's not fun. Alright, I've got a little... Can I convert from this to that? Oh, so that becomes now one of those. To construct that and save it off. Tried to implement Hyper-V but lost. Hey, Frankus. Are underscores before variable names considered global? They're not global, but it's a way that we indicated that it's a private variable. Could not resolve a service of type bot configuration. Rats. Okay. Login name and password. Oh, I had that as an... Yeah, there. Services configure. So I should be able to get that. It's right there. Right? It should do DI resolution on that. Is there any difference between parentheses and the underscore? Yes. In a lambda statement, when you do, if I do an underscore here, that's a discard. You're telling C# ignore what's being returned. By putting something in there, you need to use this. Keep working with it. When you use that, you're saying there is no argument being passed in here. The underscore, though, says discard. The underscore discard is a C# 7 point, I think it's 7.2 or 7.1 feature. And it's just a matter of you're telling the compiler, I don't need this object that's being returned. So it knows earlier when to recover that that memory that's being used. It's not necessarily in Lambda. It's in any return type you can reference with underscore. It was a pattern before a feature. Yeah. But that should be injected there. That object that's being configured. Oh wait, it's going to be iOptions by bot configuration, isn't it? iOptions, because it's a configuration. So this is going to be value. And now it'll find it. Can you show an example without the lambda with the underscore? Without the lambda. With without the Lambda. Oh, yeah, give me a second here. We'll take a look-see. Sure. Called it a full solution with front page and access in college for a project. Awesome. I used to do that a lot. Let's see if we can get this. So we've got that. And here we go. Do we have any clients? Yes! We got it! We got it! We figured it out! Oh my gosh! The eureka moment, we got it! We figured, and now you can see it's logging the chat in there. Yes! Oh my gosh. Woo! Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. Let's back up. Oh my gosh, when DI goes bad, it goes really bad. All right. Let's explain. Let's figure out what we found. It is so good, this feeling. Okay. And Stelzy was right on it earlier when Stelzy was saying it feels like we've got two different hub contexts coming back. We were getting in our previous instance of startup, and let's talk about this because this is really good. Here we were saying build the dependency injection container. After that, we were getting the service for the context for the SignalR hub. So there's one instance. When this method, this configure services method is done, it takes that services object that I just inserted this rendered instance into and creates another instance of the dependency injection container. A second instance. The first one that this was fetched out of is destroyed and goes away. The second one is created and it has SignalR and all those things registered in it. At that point, ASP.NET is going to serve out a reference to that second SignalR hub. Different hub. Different object that's being returned. So I'm not interacting with the same object. Creating the service provider and passing it along so that we could get that configuration right here. Bad juju. So, like Glenn was saying, don't do that. That's a bad idea. You don't need to do that. By receiving the configuration and doing that extra work down here, that's a jolly developer. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. But you don't want to build that. It is very bad juju. Very bad. Don't do it. It's inconceivable. Yeah, exactly.
It's illegal in 9 countries.
Completely illegal in 9 countries. Urban Nomad, thank you so much for the follow. If you do that, you're gonna have problems. But now that I've removed it,
Everything is awesome.
yeah. All right. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So now we can start to put out. So I have this hub here, and I wanted to start putting some authorization around it. So the only folks that can get that text log are global admins. I don't need this log message inside of here, and I don't need that. Right? So I've got this dummy that's just receiving its trafficking messages out, and the only people who can receive it are global admins. Yes, Urban Nomad, I do. There's all kinds of information about me in the About block on the wall here, just below where I'm sitting right here on the side. So, there you go. But you will find me at just about all the Microsoft developer events, Microsoft Ignite and Microsoft Build. I will always be at those events. while I'm working with you here in this community. No, I do not work on the Redmond campus. I actually work from my home in the Philadelphia area, which means that I'm outside the Redmond reality distortion field, and I work closer with customers, getting more realistic scenarios and things that we want to encourage, and feed that back to the product team. So there's an interesting thing here that I think we should discuss, and I think Glenn pointed it out nicely here. We shouldn't be doing that services build provider here in the configure method. It'd be really cool if we had a Roslyn analyzer that if it detected that, threw an error and said, you shouldn't be doing this, throw a warning. So that you have to purposely escape and say, ignore that error if you want to do this. I think that would be really cool to see added to the base ASP.NET Core framework. Who's volunteering to write that rule and submit it? So let's do this. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to write that rule, but I'm going to walk through opening an issue. Right. What was it? Build services. Right. It was the build service provider. Yeah. Build service provider. See if there's anything written about it. No. I'm going to create a new issue. And it's good form to create an issue to let folks know your intent before you go and submit a pull request. So there are a number of cool analyzers that ASP.NET Core should have, could have. Maybe if we as a community start suggesting some of these, some of the program managers can allocate and approve and give us an appropriate place where we can make some of those, so we can help the team and make it easier to be successful with the framework. That's something that I think we can all appreciate and get behind. It's going to be a question of right now, as the team is locking down on their 3.0 features, making sure that they can give just a little bit of notice, a little bit of attention to the community being able to step up and help with some of those things. Was I disappointed when Windows Phone stopped being developed? Yes, I was. It was a tremendous phone. A lot of the features from the phone are now on other devices. Analyzer request for analyzer to throw warnings, to raise warnings when build service provider build service provider in configure services should raise a warning. Let's move this over so we can see it a little bit better. No, you go away. It would be helpful if, to encourage better practices, it would be helpful for an analyzer to raise a warning if build service provider is called in configure services. This is an anti-pattern that we should discourage. I kind of described the solution that I'd like, so I'm not going to put anything there. No additional context needed. Submit first issue. There we go. Yeah, writing it down a little bit like a user story. So, and I'll keep tabs on this, and if the program managers say, you know what, that's not a bad idea, and we'll allocate some space for that, and we'll take a pull request on it, maybe we'll come back and on stream together, we'll write a little analyzer for that and submit a pull request. Working at home does make folks feel isolated sometimes. Absolutely. All right, so I'm going to remove that. So I think, what time do we got there? Yeah, 1 o'clock. We're a little bit long here today, but that's quite all right. We solved our problem. That was huge. Huge. You think they pulled the plug too early? Some of your colleagues were disappointed when the phone got discontinued. I don't think it was so much Microsoft as it started to become the hardware providers. It was the right move. I think there's something that could have been done with Android to change the shell so that you got that same experience. Because the experience on the Windows Phone, the tile experience, the at a glance being able to see all the things, tremendous. Tremendous capabilities there. You miss working in an office with everyone's social aspect of it. Yeah, that's why it's important to me that I get to the office every couple of months. I'm not going to be visiting Redmond again until the end of September, and even then, it's going to be a crazy whirlwind week. And hopefully, if we get to our 8,000 followers, I'll be wandering around the office and meeting with vice presidents with a rainbow beard. PowerLink, thanks so much for the follow. Kicked you all out to save money. That's the wrong reason to use the Microsoft launcher. Yeah, it doesn't look like the Windows Phone OS. No. All right, so I have the logger feature working. I'm going to finish that user interface real quick. So it has a little SignalR thing here to receive a message, and I'm just creating some LIs, some LI entries to put on the page. And that is inside of a component up here. There it is, my current channels list, and I want to have a message list. I'm going to do this with an unordered list inside of a div.
And then,
I'll style it so it looks like a terminal window.
and then,
I'll put some scrolling around it so that it scrolls off so that you can see the messages that are coming back and forth.
and then.
So, I do not know either of the previous CEOs. Am I an Android user now? No, I'm an iPhone user. So this should just work, and I should start to see those messages pop out from the channel here. You study at home. Okay, cool. Let's see. Who can we... Okay. I want to take a second here real quick. Our friend Imperial is streaming right now, and I'm going to have the bot join her channel as well, so we can see it in both channels going by. Yeah. All right. So we'll join C# Fritz, and we should start to see messages appear on the screen. There we go. And it'll just start scrolling down as we type in messages here on the screen. So go ahead and enjoy. Type in. There we go. Right. And it's just going to start putting all the information. There you go. Now, I'm going to snoop and add Imperial's chat to us as well. You're not going to be able to tell which channel it comes out of. Let's reformat that real quick. For the messages that get logged, 1 second here. It was this one. So this is an overall one. The message that's coming through, chat log message. Does it have the channel on this? It does. Okay. So let's log a message. Let's format it so that it includes hash. And the channel is a terrible format to do, but hey, like that. That way we get the hash popping up also. Do you follow that Paul Thurrott guy? Do you read most of his articles? Yes, I'm friends with Paul Thurrott. He actually lives about an hour north of me here in the Pennsylvania area. All right, so we will add C# Fritz, and we'll do some styling for this later. There we go. And now, right, you can see it. That's all in the C# Fritz channel. And now we'll add Imperial. So now it's joined her channel as well. All right, so as messages happen on Imperial's channel, right, you see it's joined to both. There we go. Ha-ha! Can somebody in Imperial's chat room let her know that we're testing a bot in her chat? Yeah, see that? You can see her emotes there. And there's ways to get those emotes and work with those. Now, I'm doing just fine. Thank you, Copper Beardy. So, right, so we could see across. Now, the reason that this is important, right now, I'm gonna let this run for just a little bit, and let's come back here. The reason that this is important, right, what we're seeing happen over here, is that when we get to a big application that's running out in the cloud, we're going to want to be able to see, as an administrator, across all the channels that we're connected to. So whether it's Imperial that's created an account, C# Fritz, Fairy Wings, Dryad T, those are some of the folks that want to use this bot, will be able to receive all their messages, process them, and send back to all of those channels appropriately those information. Stalker bot, no. It feels a little stalkery right now because she didn't opt in, but Imperial's a friend, and we're looking at public chat. This is kind of it's you get the same thing if you browsed over there. So this is pretty cool. I'm okay with where we are. I think we've accomplished something here that works pretty neat. Community bot, well, this is why it's a global admin, is all that's able to see this. It's using different IRC rooms, yes. So what we'll end up doing is, and there we go, somebody says this, Janescu, need a chat component. Exactly. Because I can see the channel that's being echoed here. I can filter on that, and I can create a chat component like we have over there on the other side, and only output messages for that channel that we output. So we can create a chat component now. We've got the facility to do it, except that message that's coming out is a string. We also need the images for the emotes that are coming out. But we've accomplished a lot. We really got somewhere here that's really, really cool. Verified Fierce Kittens. Yes, I am Fierce Kittens. So, we've got it happening, and it's, I'm pretty happy with that. See? There we go. Where, did she say something here? Where did we go? Jason Voorhees won. Your copy of Friday the 13th over there. Wow. Right? So, Fierce Kittens. Did she write that in here? Can I? Right there. Yup. So, very cool. All right, so we've got it working, and I think that's where we're going to leave off today. Look at that. Visual Studio is still trying to load there. Right, this one. we close that? It's not closing. Fine. I will kill it when I'm done here. So this is pretty cool. I'm really happy with where we've gotten to here, because we now have a way for SignalR to interact from our actors, right? Where we're going to get very distributed. We're going to have lots of different folks interacting with that, and we're going to be able to pass that information back to our web interaction, to our web user interface. That's going to be the bomb diggity. All right, so I'm going to commit finished chat logging. Awesome. There we go, and I will push that out so it's in my feature branch out there. I will merge that into master, and we'll be able to move forward with this project very, very soon. This has been terrific. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Here's what I'm going to do, just because it's I want to make sure we thank our friend Imperial over there. Let's set up for a raid, and let's raid Imperial. All right, so here's the raid call. There you go. If you're a subscriber, grab the first line of text. If you're not a subscriber, that's okay. Grab the second line of text. What we're going to do is we're going to raid our friend Imperial. She's playing Friday the 13th right now over there on her channel. So let's set up for the raid. Come on. Trying to raid. There it goes. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining me. I hope you come back on Tuesday. You've seen earlier on the stream, I've got brand new badges, emotes, and screens. We're gonna spruce everything up here on Tuesday night, right before our friend Fierce Kittens streams. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. This video, like all my other videos, will be available over on the YouTube channel a little bit later, probably tomorrow or Tuesday. It'll be available. All right. Take care, everybody. Get ready to say hi to Imperial and let her know that we're raiding. Alrighty? Take care, everybody. We will see you Tuesday, just before the American Independence Day holiday. Alright? Take care, and we'll see you then. Later. Mm-hmm.